time for a little atonement. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and this is a recap of the 9th episode of the 2nd season of Titans entitled Atonement. But before we get started, we wanted you to get on this month's giveaway. We're giving away a copy of the classic comic Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. To get in on this contest, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment, and hit that like button. Hey guys, welcome to the recap of the 9th episode of the 2nd season of Titans Atonement. It's a pretty great episode, and we saw a lot of character development. Now there's going to be some spoilers in here, so if you don't want the show spoiled, make sure you click away. It's been a long time coming, but the majority of the Titans team have decided to abandon Grayson in this episode. Once they find out he lied to the original team about how Jericho died, most of the team is sick of, and I quote, his half-truths and lies. In the aftermath of this discussion, and Corey taking care of some business of her own, which we'll talk about in a second, this leaves Gar alone in the tower. Now, in the series, Gar is pretty much the only person who's optimistic, and feels like Dick should be forgiven. The team is coming down pretty hard on Dick for lying to them, but Gar seems to be the only one who sees this as a misstep and that humans make mistakes. So, being the only one left in the tower, Gar is in charge of Connor, and Connor is still recovering from his gunshot wounds. Now, Gar has a lot of enthusiasm for running the tower, even though it only lasts one day. He starts off with great intentions, gets into a fitness routine, eats healthy, even reads some classic books to Connor while he's unconscious. But by day 3, he's done. He's a kid, and he's on his own. What can we possibly expect from him? But on day 4, Connor finally decides to wake up. And Gar decides, instead of calling Bruce Wayne, as Dick had instructed, him and Connor just bond over some video games. Realizing how special Connor's abilities are, he immediately invites Connor to join the Titans. But Connor is still afraid of his Lex Luthor side taking over. With this in mind, Gar decides to show Connor the sights of San Francisco and to explain to him why they must protect this place and these people. Now this goes more than a little sideways. Connor mistakes 2 cops apprehending a suspect as attackers and unleashes his superpower on the police. When more police turn up, it just escalates. And gripped by some of the same fear that he had seen when that SWAT team attacked the Luthor home, he completely escalates the attack and goes near full Kryptonian. This episode did see a lot of Corey, and some development of her story, which we haven't been getting a lot of in the last couple of episodes. Now Corey had thought she had safely dispatched Fadai to their home planet, but now guess what? He's back. And with some bad news. Corey's sister, the villainous Blackfire, has taken over the throne, and she wants both Corey and Fadai dead. Additionally, Blackfire has already killed all of Corey's courtiers, and she's headed to Earth to finish off the last of her competition. Now, while she's talking with Fadai, they're driving around in his car, and they stop at a rest stop. At this point, Fadai has some alien technology strike him in the side of the head, and he becomes possessed by Blackfire. Once inside Fadai's body, she tries to convince Corey that she doesn't need to dethrone Blackfire and should investigate other options. But quite honestly, Corey's not having any of it. She doesn't believe her sister is good enough to be queen, and she isn't going to go down without a fight. Now, when Fadai takes Corey to his ship, Corey confronts him about who he really is. She's already realized it's actually Blackfire based on some of the questions she shared with him over dinner. Corey is forced to kill Fadai, and once Fadai's ashes fade away, you see the image of Blackfire. We find out that not only has Blackfire killed Corey's parents, she's created an army, and she's more than a little ready to take on Corey. Now, Hank and Dawn also have quite a bit of an arc in this episode. When Dick tells the team the truth about Jericho, Hank is a little upset, and actually clocks Dick right square in the jaw. At this point, they leave the group and return to Wyoming. Once they return, they realize their cabin isn't in working condition, and they have to do a little work to get it up and running. To cheer Hank up, Dawn takes him to a karaoke bar. They do a great rendition of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which certainly helps the mood of the show. And I have to wonder, is it really them singing? If so, they both nailed it. And this is where it takes a little bit of a turn. When they head back out to their car, they're confronted by Ellis' sister. If you remember, Ellis was the kid killed by Dr. Light in the first episode. His sister holds them responsible and tells them she's going to make them suffer for letting her brother die. This really hits a nerve with Hank. He's suddenly possessed by the idea that him and Dawn's relationship is nothing but an endless cycle of pain and suffering. He points out that they met in grief counseling following the death of Hank's brother and Dawn's mother in the same accident, and they continue to face loss every step of the way. In Hank's mind, the two of them together seems to be worsening the situation. Hank really doesn't appear to be taking the breakup well by the end of the episode, and gives up his hard-earned sobriety. This is something that's been building a couple episodes, and we really shouldn't be surprised. Now, when Dick tells the team about what happened, Rose and Jason leave the tower, and we actually don't see him the rest of the episode. Rachel decides to go with Donna, who also leaves the tower, but shortly after runs away from her too. I highly suspect we'll see Rose, Jason, and Rachel as part of the next episode. Now, one of the more interesting things about this episode is when Dick meets Adeline, Jericho's mother, to apologize for Jericho's death. and she is unforgiving. Hey, I'm a parent, I understand that. But then she puts real cards on the table. She tells Dick to go into another room where he will find his answers, and he finds Slade Wilson. Wilson has achieved his goal. He took away Dick's family the same way Dick took away his. The more interesting part of the scene is that it's clear Slade is not well at all. But he makes a point to tell Dick if he ever reforms the Titans, even for a weekend, he will kill every last one of them. The episode closes out with Dick at an airport. He's decided he's the problem and he needs to get as far away from the people he cares about as possible, so he buys a ticket to Greenland. Now at this point he gets a message from Gar, who's reached out to him in the aftermath of what Connor did. At this point, Dick seems to snap a little bit, drops his ticket, and then attacks a couple security guards in the airport, presumably to get himself arrested. This is where the episode closes out. Now, this episode saw a lot of jumping between characters, and we got quite a bit of development for nearly everybody on the team. It's pretty clear Dick's going through some sort of transformation process, and this is probably leading him to take up the persona Nightwing. I just don't know how much longer we're going to have to wait to see it. It was pretty good to see the villain for next season finally make an appearance. Blackfire has already been slated as the baddie for season 3, and getting that story integrated into this season, even this early, was rather foretelling. In any case, it was a pretty enjoyable episode, not too heavy on the action, but enough there, especially with Connor scenes, to make it really enjoyable. The whole cast continues to bring it, and there's not really a lot to complain about. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. Not the best one of the season, but still a heck of a lot of fun, and highly recommended. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press the like below, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.